Welcome to the channel Learn with Danish. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. Good evening, guys. We are back with another video. In this video, we would be talking about a very well-known writer, a Jewish writer called Yuval Noah Harari. And we would be discussing his work, Chemical Happiness and Meaning of Life. Chemical Happiness and Meaning of Life is prescribed under the text Zeitgeist for second semester BA, BSc, BCom, BBA students of the University of CALICUT. The Zeitgeist text contains lots of chapters under 4 modules. I would be discussing all the chapters in all 4 modules of this text in the coming videos. We would be starting off with our first lesson, that is Chemical Happiness and Meaning of Life by Yuval Noah Harari. Now let's just get into the work as such. Today we are going to talk about Yuval Noah Harari's Chemical Happiness and Meaning of Life. Yuval Noah Harari is a Jewish writer who's famous for his work Sapiens. You might have heard of Sapiens. That's a picture that you see of Yuval Noah Harari over here. He is born to a secular Jewish family, and he's the author of the popular science bestseller, that is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. It has been a controversial work since its publication in the year 2014 because there are many talks related to the origin of the evolution of human beings. He discusses the evolution of human beings from the Stone Age to the 21st century. Then we have Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, that is published in the year 2016, and 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, that was published 2 years back, that is in 2018. In Sapiens, he got famous with his work Sapiens, and he talks of the evolution of human beings from the Stone Age to the 21st century. That is the cover page of Sapiens. So in Sapiens, let us just see what is the basic content in that famous work. In Sapiens, he talks about the 4 basic revolutions in human history. Now, what are the 4 basic revolutions? It's not the French Revolution, it's not the American Revolution, but the first one is the cognitive revolution. What do you mean by cognitive revolution? Cognitive revolution is the time when human beings started thinking in an imaginative manner. It is a time when human beings started thinking in an imaginative manner. He started imagining things. That is the first revolution that happens in human beings as such. That is the cognitive revolution. The second is the agricultural revolution, which states the shift in the hunting or shift in the survival patterns of human beings. We see that human beings were hunters. Homo sapiens were hunters. Primitive men were hunters. Slowly we started shifting to the agricultural scenario. That is the another revolution that happened, the second revolution that happened. The third revolution is related to the unification of humankind. We started building up colonies, we started building up empires, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, Ottoman Empire. We see that we had a political organization of human political organization towards one global empire. That is the third revolution. And the fourth revolution, which was the biggest of all, is the scientific revolution, where we have, it is during the 15th century CE, that is after Christ, we have the emergence of objective science. Right, after that we had lots of invention, lots of revolutions related to science, but on the whole, generally we speak of that era till now as the scientific revolution or the science revolution. We are living in the scientific revolution scenario. Harari's main argument is that sapiens, that is Homo sapiens, came to dominate the world because It is the only animal that can cooperate flexibly in large numbers. Others and all cannot cooperate, but it is Homo sapiens. We are the only one who didn't become extinct because we could cooperate among the large numbers. Neanderthals became extinct because of that incapability. There is no capability for Neanderthals to survive in a cooperative manner. So let's look at Yuval Noah Harari's affinity towards the East. We see that he is a regular yoga practitioner, and he has been greatly influenced by the Buddhist philosophy. He teaches history in Hebrew University. I would like to say that Hebrew University in Jerusalem. He teaches history. He's a history professor there. And basically Sapiens is a collective of his lectures, actually. Collective of his lectures related to the Stone Age man to the 21st century. He won the Polanski Prize for creativity and originality. He has won the Polanski Prize for twice, I think. And his main quote in Sapiens, basically, history begins with the gods and will end when human become God. So history is something that began with the gods. So the God is the one who created the universe. There is a divine being, actually. Even if you are talking about science, there is a divine being who actually builds up this universe, and it ends with human beings becoming God. We have many God men and God women right now. Let's look into the text as such. We are dealing with happiness. Now, what is happiness? What do you think is happiness? Can anybody tell me what happiness is all about? Is this a picture that you see on the screen a happy picture? Maybe yes, maybe no, right? We cannot judge happiness. Happiness is something which is based on individuality, isn't it? Now let's see what he is saying, what Yuval Noah Harari is saying inside the text. How does he begin his article? He says that there are two kinds of scientists. One is social scientist. Social scientists analyze happiness with socio-economic factors. What is that meaning? He says that social scientists or social workers or society people analyze happiness based on socio-economic factors. That means that when we have wealth, when we have economic prosperity, when we have a particular status in society, that would decide our happiness. That is what social scientist people think. The other scientist people relates to the biological aspects. So the biologists, what do they do? Biologists relate with biochemical factors, which is shaped through evolution of human beings. So we have been evolved from biochemical factors, biochemical reactions. There is a biochemical reaction that happens during evolution, and that is what biologists tend to discover, tend to stress upon. So happiness is not caused due to the external factors. If we have wealth, if we have status, that doesn't cause happiness. That is what biologists are saying. Okay, biologist is saying like that. So according to the biologists, happiness is caused due to complex system of nerves. So it happens inside the brain. Happiness is something that happens inside the brain of an individual. It is individualistic. My happiness is not similar to his happiness or her happiness. My happiness depends upon my nerves, my neurons, my brain signals, right? So it is a complex system of nerves, neurons, synapses, that is the electric charges that goes on, and various biochemical substances like serotonin, dopamine and oxytocin. These are all biochemical substances which creates happiness. When adrenaline or serotonin or dopamine is inserted into your blood, you become happy. You get a pleasant feeling. Your body gets a pleasant feeling, and due to that pleasant feeling, you become happy. That's what biologists say. Biologists say like that. people are not made happy by external factors, but through one thing only. What is that one thing? That is the pleasant sensation in the body. Pleasant sensation, if you get pleasant sensation in the body, you're happy. That you can come up with the evolution itself, right? When you get a pleasant sensation, you get happiness. It is due to electric signal flashing between different parts of his or her brain. So we have electric signals that causes extreme pleasure or sensual pleasure that is there in our mind and body. And it is through this sensual pleasure that we derive our happiness. Happiness and misery in life is not a prolonged process that stays on forever. Both are momentary. So it is due to our biochemical reaction or biochemical system inside our body. Happiness and misery, happiness and sadness don't stay there for too long. Suppose a person dies, suppose our relative die, we become sad, and that sadness is maintained only for a short while. Suppose we win a lottery, we win a prize, that happiness is there only for a short time. It will not last for lifetime. Right. So happiness and misery is based on biochemical system that is set in our body, and it is always constant. Biochemical system is always constant. Right. So he gives the example of evolution. Now evolution, when you talk of evolution, he provides pleasure feelings with reward. So during the process of reproduction, that is during the process of sex, the male counterpart enjoys or derives pleasure from sex, right? So the process of evolution or the process of reproduction in itself is a kind of reward through satisfaction or pleasure, and that gives happiness actually. So human biochemistry is like an AC. You can compare human biochemistry like an AC. Now what happens with an AC? AC, you keep a temperature, you have that temperature even if it is hot or cold outside. Even if it is hot outside, even if it is cold outside, if I keep my temperature to a fixed constant number, that is around 28 degree or 25 degree, my AC would be working in that temperature only. I'll not be allowed to experience the temperature that is outside. So human happiness are conditioned system, right? So they are conditioned system, and they differ from person to person. So Yuval Noah Harari is actually putting up a 10-point scale. So if a person's happiness system is between 6 to 10, he or she will be almost all the time happy or cool-minded. So you can see many people in your life itself, in your family, in your relatives, you can see many people who are actually cool-minded. We have an Indian cricket team captain, MS Dhoni, or Rahul Dravid for that matter, who is considered to be Mr. Cool. Why is he Mr. Cool? Even in certain circumstances where you are going to be tensed, he becomes very cool. That is because his biochemical system works on from 6 to 10 principle scale in the biochemical system of happiness. So every time he would be happy, whether they are going to lose or whether they are going to be defeated, there's no problem with him. He will face the defeat in a very happy manner. He or she will face defeat in a very happy manner. They are cool-minded people, 6 to 10. When you have the ratio between 6 to 10. With that, we have come to the end of the first part of Yuval Noah Harari's lesson, Chemical Happiness and Meaning of Life. Stay tuned for the second video, second part, that would be uploaded soon, today itself. So it is me, Danish, signing off. Have a good day. Learn with Danish.